your button?
Okay, we'll start with roll call.
Where's your
Mayor
refresh button?
Odekirk?
Should be
Here.
right here.
Councilwoman Gavin, she's in there. Councilman Girl,
Here.
Councilman Hug, he's in public service. Councilman McFarland is in customer service, or public service.
No refresh button.
And Councilman Morris,
Here.
Councilman Mudrin,
Here.
Councilwoman Quillman,
Here.
Councilman Turk.
Here.
The next item that we have is citizens to be heard for agenda items, and I don't know if we have any that, I didn't have any pre-sign up.
Is anyone here to be heard on an agenda item for tonight or tomorrow? Okay.
So then, next is city manager.
Okay, tomorrow night, we've got a presentation from the Rialto, and then committee reports. There are no vacancies that we're filling. However, there is a request for approval of a carnival for the Taste of Joliet at Joliet Memorial Stadium. And I think representatives are here from the Parks District if you've got any questions about that event.
Nope.
Anyone?
Dominic, could you step up, please? If you could you let us know who the entertainment is this year?
We have Cheap Trick on Friday nights, the headliner, Big and Rich on Saturday, and Saturday's a whole country lineup. Danielle Bradbury, Parmalee, and Ruthie Collins. Danielle Bradbury won season something of The Voice. A couple up-and-comers, and then Sunday is Plain White Tees.
Nice.
So this is our annual request for the carnival. The Taste has been a pretty great event for the city, and I don't think, and we can talk with the chief, but I don't think we've had any problems at all with the carnival in the last 4 or 5 years.
I agree. Thank you. Any questions? Thank you.
Council Memo 279 is an ordinance requesting a vacation of some property, and this was reviewed at the Planning Commission level, and it is proposed for denial because there is a city pipe that is underneath the area of the swimming pool that they're proposing to locate on their lot that infringes upon the city drainage easement located on Winterberry Drive.
Mayor?
Yes.
Yeah, I read through that memo, and there's another alternative spot that they can put that pool, is there not?
I believe there is, or they could change the configuration to an oval pool as opposed to round and still be not infringe on our easement.
Is the owner here tonight?
I believe so.
Owner's not here? Okay. All right, thank you. As long as they can move it to another place, I don't see the problem. Thank you.
Okay. Item 280 is a request for, we have a number of different motions that we'll need. This is in Laraway Crossing. This is for Cadence Premier Logistics. Reclassification of 5.5 acres at the corner of Emerald and Route 53 in the Laraway Crossing Business Subdivision. This will be used for several purposes, predominantly maintenance and repair of trucks, storage. There will be diesel supplied there, compressed natural gas on the property. And so there's a reclassification, there's approval of the preliminary plat, final plat and recording plat, and then also approving a special use to allow sale of truck, tractor, and trailer parts and allow the truck and trailer maintenance, including a wash facility on the site as well. What you see on the screen before you is a map of the entire Laraway Crossing development, which we can probably leave up for the next two items as well. But what we're talking about is the blue highlighted area facing Route 53 and the use of those properties. In the backup, you have detail of the lot layout for this development. And let me just share with you, I know council has had some concern about use of Lot 7 and Lot 2, and eventually the next couple items deal with IKEA and how that affects the amount of traffic that's going to be on Emerald Drive and also going out to the intersection of Emerald Drive and 53. And so staff has a estimate of let me see what it is, $1,067,000 for the intersection improvements and the overlay. And all of the owners have gone together to form a LLC together, and they will bond for that amount, because this will have to, once these developments go in, IDOT will then decide whether or not there is a need, and we're certain that there will be a need, but how to design that intersection for appropriate traffic flow going in and out of Emerald Drive. The other thing is we've already had a meeting and have in writing follow-up from IDOT on a grant for this development. And one of the commitments that IKEA and Cadence and the others have to make to the state to be eligible for this is how many jobs they're going to create for a minimum period of 5 years. And if those jobs are reduced, then they will have to pay back the state whatever grant amount that they are allotted towards this project. So they will have to maintain a bond in that amount for the duration of the grant requirement period of 5 years.
Mayor?
Yes.
Jim, thank you for that report, and I would like to thank IKEA, the folks with Ryan Development, and Candace for coming together, and our unknown online retailer to step forward and put an LLC together to address that concern we had with 53 and Emerald. So thank you guys for addressing that. I think we're moving in the right direction to kind of control the egress and ingress there. My only question is on this, and the concerns that I've heard voiced to me is, and I asked their city attorney to look at this, the exact plat, maybe you can show me on here, where they're looking to put the truck wash, repair, convenience, diesel, natural gas, and the gaming machines. And the question was, and the concerns that I've heard, is there's 3 already going in on that corner, this one going a little bit south for a 4th stop. Is there a way that this could be voted on separately, was a question that I presented to Corporation Council from the other portion of the project of the warehouses? I'm just curious if that was looked into.
It was, and that's why they're separated the way that they are on the council memo.
So could you identify which one addresses the gaming? I didn't see that in the memo.
It was voted on by the zoning board.
So I thought the final approval comes before us.
No.
So gaming's, so the gas component of it's all approved?
It's through the zoning board.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is this like video gaming, like with what we're with the money and gambling and everything?
Yes, it is. And truck stops are allowed without liquor licenses to have up to 5, just like those with liquor licenses in the state of Illinois.
And that can go before zoning and not come to city council?
No, that That's a state approval, I believe.
Well, the question is, out of this whole project, there's like 3 components here. We're putting in warehousing. Candace is moving down to do their operation. There's gonna be an indoor soccer field, correct? That was told to us. Then there's a, like, I'm gonna call it a truck stop, correct me if I'm wrong, where there's going to be repairs, there's gonna be a convenience store. Which portion on the agenda addresses that?
That's a 2C?
There's no attachment, that's why I'm confused.
Oh, it's in 2. All the attachments are in 2.
Seriously. It's a state law.
You still on the floor? Jim, go ahead.
We ready to continue? All right. Next item is 281. Again, this is recording on ordinance approving preliminary plat for the Laraway Crossing. This is 82 acres on the north side of Emerald Drive, again, Route 53. And this again is part of the complex that you see in front of you. And the drawings, I believe, are included in the back. Jim, is this is the 49 acres directly behind Cadence?
Yeah, this is directly behind Cadence on the north side of Emerald Drive. So it's that, the last remaining biggest of the lots there that are depicted towards the west of that subdivision.
There is a representative here this evening if you have any specific questions as well.
Any questions?
Memo 282 is approving the vacation of Emerald Drive east of Cashel. Preliminary plat for IKEA Distribution Center 2. And so you've got to the east end of the property, you see IKEA identified there. And they also have the property directly to the west for future construction that could also, there's 1.4 million square feet of building on the east side, and then those other lots will also accommodate another 1.4 million square feet to the west.
Mayor?
Yes.
Jim, so essentially, the vacation is of that, the vacating of that portion of Emerald is so that IKEA's campus can be continuous at the point that they build out.
That's right.
Thank you.
Council Memo 283. This is a petitioner from American Tower requesting a special use permit and variation in use to allow a 100-foot high stealth monopole tower. Stealth meaning it looks like an American flagpole. And this will be located for T-Mobile at 844 Campus Drive. We've got some examples in the back up there of what these look like. All of the cellular equipment is inside of that pole and not visible from the exterior at all. And we will make sure that if the American flag is up all hours, it will be illuminated.
Be great.
Item 284 is a petition for a special use permit to allow new and used retail car sales at 2200 West Jefferson Street. What you have now is a combination Kia Subaru dealership, and they are splitting up, and the Kia is remaining in the existing dealership location, and Subaru is locating on the lot to the east, and will be exclusive to Subaru. At this time, it will be, I believe it's used right now for used cars, but the Subaru will move in there, sell new cars as well as the used cars.
Jim, if I may, can we go back to 280 for a second?
Sure.
I think the question is still out there. Is there a portion, we're voting on 280-15, 280-15, but it's broken down into 2A, 2B, 2C, and item 2.
Yes.
Are we taking one vote tomorrow, or are we going to vote on each item
We're
independently?
going to have 3 votes tomorrow.
So which of the 4 or 3 would govern just the truck stop, the proposed truck stop?
Well,
The retail shop.
When it went before the ZBA, so the items that went, it was separated first at the ZBA, that the items, there were 5 items that the ZBA voted on at their meeting, and those items are not before council because those were the ones that this board gave the ZBA authority to rule upon. And then the other ones were recommendations from the zoning board. And that's why you might not see it in front of you.
Is there an opportunity for us to vote on the actual proposed truck stop retail store? Or are you saying that that's off the table? That's already been approved?
That's the ZBA, it's not.
it's not something that council votes on.
So the diesel station, gas station, the convenience store, the gaming, all that's been approved.
By the ZBA, yes.
But the infrastructure building portion is under special use permit to allow the sales truck, tractor trailer, and trailer parts.
Yes. And they're separate, and there's, even though the council memo are all the same, there are 3 separate votes.
Is there something specific about this that the council didn't have a say on what goes on their property? I'm a little confused.
Well, there are certain authorities given by the city council to the zoning board of appeals, and so they've gone to the zoning board for those specific issues, and then the remainder are recommendations that come to city council, and those are the items that are before you tomorrow night.
Well, I think, and I don't know if we can address this if it's too late, this kind of comes down to policy issue for me. We have an issue, and I know we've talked, Jim, privately, and we're meeting with other people about the truck traffic on Route 53.
Yes.
And I'm not sure if this council would have approved another truck stop that's drawing more trucks onto that road when we're taking steps, and we're working to do just the opposite, to draw them away to an alternate route to get them off of Route 53.
Well, I think this business model is based on existing truck traffic. The trucks that are going to IKEA and into the Laraway Crossing, as well as into Center Point and Joliet and down in Elwood, are all trucks that are are converting to compressed natural gas, which this facility is providing, and then the diesel fuel is used as an igniter of the natural gas, and so they're going to be maintaining vehicles that are servicing all of those businesses in these parks, in the warehouse district here. So it's not that trucks are going to be coming there because they're located there. It's more they're going, they've decided to locate here because they think there's a real need here for all of the trucks that are existing going up and down 53 to begin with all the other businesses that are located in Center Point and in Laraway Crossing.
So Jim, can you tell me then why the other two gas stations that are going in?
Why they're going
We
in?
approved the variance for the one about a month ago. I believe the gentleman that owns Route 66 came and kind of pled with the council not to approve it.
Right.
His business is gonna hurt. I think the question here is, there's a third one that staff, Mr. Haller, I believe, mentioned, that's in the process, that's already been approved. So we're talking about 3 developments already in the process of being built, 3 truck stops. And to me, this is a 4th. I don't know how we can sit here and say that it's not gonna attract trucks. It's gonna sell diesel, natural gas, no one else around there has natural gas, so it's gonna bring people off 80 that take natural gas, along with the gaming component. And I don't know if any of the other ones actually have truck wash facilities. So I'm sure that's gonna be an attraction of more trucks to come out for the truck wash facility. I think
Right.
that's our concerns.
Yeah.
And maybe somebody from that development can address it, but as the mayor mentioned, I think we're getting hammered from every angle that us continually to approve these type of businesses there that are bringing in trucks off the expressway and bringing them down from Center Point is congesting that whole area, which is then bottlenecking 53 and I-80, trying to get onto the expressway in the downtown Joliet. So I think that's the concerns, and maybe staff can address it. I know we had a meeting, Councilman Morris, in your district on this, where residents having concern with the increased traffic. So I think that's the concern that maybe you can address, or if it's a moot point because it's already been approved through zoning.
Well, maybe Mr. Haller can help me here, but I think the existing location that we have out there, do they provide service to trucks as well, or is it just fuel?
They would provide service to trucks as well, and you probably should get Rocky up here, and he can talk about his business model. But the thing that makes this different than the food and fuel or the pilot project that was approved previously is the fact that primarily they're going to do this for their own fleet of trucks, but they're also going to open it up to others. That in their intention really is to do it on a sort of a subscription basis, where not only will they take care of their own equipment, but they will take care of other fleets' equipment. So their real aim is to go after other complete fleets, not to try to get trucks off the highway one at a time. That's not their intent. Their intent really is to take care of their own equipment, and then also to take care of fleets that would sign up to use the compressed natural gas. And as you know, to burn compressed natural gas, you also have to have a diesel component to it. And then on top of that, so they would sell those products, but then they would have the convenience store, and they would have the video gaming that would be available for their drivers and the drivers that would be somewhat subscription to them. Now, that's not to say somebody off the highway couldn't purchase CNG or diesel fuel, but that's not the main intention. They're not going to advertise or on the highway, put up billboards up and down Interstate 80 to try to lure trucks off of here. And one of the questions that was asked at the public hearing with the Plan Commission is, what are your hours of operation for this, the fueling facility and the truck maintenance facility? And Rocky had stated that from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. So there, again, this is not around-the-clock operation. It's not intended to get the truckers off the highway. If they're there, they have the ability to stop here. But really, I think their main intent is to be more of a fleet subscription type of an operator besides their own fleet. And again, Rocky, I don't know if I've misspoke, but if you want to elaborate on that.
Rocky Kaler with Cadence Premier. We looked at different properties and, our business model and what we've tried to do. And a lot of my thinking comes from my days at UPS. So, how do we set things up there? How do we want to build this? We looked at a couple other properties, one in Indiana and then another one down on 55, which is a mobile truck stop, mobile gas. And we didn't want to be in the truck stop business. That's not what we do. But we wanted to fuel our own fleet. And with that, we currently have our own tractor trailer maintenance facility. And then offer, that I saw through the ITA as a member of their board, there's really no one in that area that if somebody has a trailer light out or headlight out on a piece of equipment, where do they get that fixed? Where can they get a light? Well, they really can't. So we want to fill that need for people outside the fleet. But currently, our model looks at we just were given the Smart Way Partnership, which is an environmental protection agency, which means our fleet exceeds any emissions controls or everything they have in place. It's a pretty good program. And we just received an award for the safest fleet in the state of Illinois from Great West Casualty. So everything we do in our business model is all about safety. Our target would be, and you're not going to pull anybody off 80. It's really a fueling location. Our goal is to have 100%, whether that happens or not, I don't know, 100% of the people coming into fuel. And that's one reason why we're not doing gasoline. We chose not to do gasoline because we don't want to be another gas station or a Pilot or a TA, because that's not our target customer. What we're looking for is, one, to fuel our fleet, and to qualify, I don't like to call it a truck stop, but by definition, the state of Illinois, anything that sells over 30,000 gallons of diesel fuel in a month's time is, in their mind, considered a truck stop because it's diesel fuel. The compressed natural gas, to come in and fuel with compressed natural gas, we're looking for people that have what we call like a COM data card, people that are actually in a system currently that would use diesel fuel, or special groups that would need, or trucking companies that would need compressed natural gas. We're converting part of our fleet at the beginning of next year, if this all goes through, and I hope that it does, starting with compressed natural gas tractors. We're doing that one to kind of clean up the green, I guess you could say, become greener than what we are now. Everything we run in our fleet is less than 3 years old. So that's really what we're trying to do. I don't know of anybody that would want to exit 80 and come down 53 just to get fuel and go back to 80, when there's TAs and pilots and the mobile station that was up for sale down the street, 55. It just doesn't make good sense to do something like that. Hopefully that answers the questions. And this is key to our corporate office and warehouse facility, to be able to have those services for our people as well, for this to work for us. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yeah, Mayor. Do we know, I'm sorry, I probably should have asked it. I didn't know if Councilman McFarland was done yet. Rocky, is that right? That's your name. How many trucks do you estimate from your fleet will be serviced at this station?
On a daily basis, anywhere from 15 to 25 that would come and go during one day's period.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, jumping back to item 284 on the new and used retail car sales on the Subaru. Were there any questions on that? If not, we'll go to 286 under resolutions, which is a adoption of an intergovernmental agreement for routine maintenance with the state of Illinois. We have a number of state routes within the city that are, which most residents think are our cities anyways. And so we have a contract with the state for plowing and filling potholes and so forth. And this is actually good for us because we get the calls of complaint if the state isn't maintaining it, and this way, we get to maintain it and we get the payment from the state. Next year should be approximately $112,000.
Question, ma'am?
Yes.
I understand what you're saying, Jim. We get the complaints, at least we have some control. Maybe this is a question for Jim Trisna. Does the amount of money we get from the state truly cover the cost to maintain the roads that we're maintaining? And is this common for every community, not just Joliet, to get this many state routes assigned to their jurisdiction?
Yeah, this is very common. Other towns do maintenance agreements also with the state, and it's typically the streets that are in the center of their towns. The state likes to stay on the interstates, and then the state highways that are kind of in the rural areas, they prefer not to come ideally right in the center of a town. So this is pretty common, and it's a reasonable amount of money. I think
Okay.
it's reasonable with what we're getting. Yes.
Thank you. Thanks, ma'am.
Item 288 is a resurfacing contract, $3,008,000 approximately. This is utilizing our motor fuel tax funds for all of our repaving, resurfacing projects that we have going on this summer. Item 289 is a intergovernmental agreement with the Forest Preserve District for Will County. And this is the water and sewer project going to, down to the Will County Sheriff Facility. And this is 4 actual separate easement agreements. After your approval of this tomorrow night, there will be one more, and that'll complete all of the easements that we need for moving forward on the project. And then we have bids and contracts, which were reviewed by Public Service Committee, but I do want to bring your attention to the first one, 290, which is dealing with extending or entering a contract to approve fiber optic network service. What we're trying to do as a city is monitor all of the projects throughout the community for dig once opportunities. So MCI, AT&T, even Nicor doing gas lines, they're digging up our roads. They're digging up our parkways. And we look for and they need to come to the city to get a permit to do that. And so we look at what they're going to be digging to decide whether or not this would be an opportunity for us to put fiber optic conduit to connect the city with high-speed fiber optics, because 75% of the cost of these installations are the digging portion of it. So what we have, Kendall, if you can go to the map, is an opportunity that we've been presented with here, and this is approximately a $900,000 to $1 million project if we were to do this on our own, and this goes from our downtown and down Manhattan and out Spencer Road, and moves us forward to connect the downtown, and with a little extension, either directly south, we'd go to this Laraway Crossing development, or you go down 54, we'll eventually get to the County Sheriff Department complex down there, which would then allow connection of all of the county buildings in the downtown area out to the Sheriff Department. So this is proposed at an amount not to exceed of $440,000, and staff believes it's an opportunity that we shouldn't pass up, since the ditches will be open. And if there are no other questions, I've got a request for closed session.
Questions?
Can we just go over Council Memo 300-15, Jim, the change order? We briefly skimmed this in committee about the change order for the Transportation Multimodal Center. Just for tomorrow night, is there any way we can update the spreadsheet to see where the $126,000 change order is gonna come from?
Yeah, we can,
Spreadsheet you gave us?
sure. I'll make sure that's updated for you.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Before we go into closed session, we have on our agenda for public comments. That would be non-agenda item.
Any public comments tonight?
Okay, so then we have a request to go into closed session. I need a motion.
I will make the motion to go into closed session.
At which time we'll adjourn afterwards?
Oh, I need the motion first. Motion and a second. Gavin, second. Second.
Second.
Okay, so it's been motioned and seconded to go into closed session to discuss personnel, collective bargaining, land acquisition, conveyance, and pending or threatening litigation, after which the meeting will be adjourned. And Councilwoman Gavin? Aye. Councilman Girl?
Aye.
Councilman Hunt?
Aye.
Councilman McFarland?
Aye.
Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Councilman Mudron?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilman Turk?
Aye.